This tree here is one of our traditional medicinal plants, especially for toothache. This works far better than painkillers. We use this for like snake bite. And like if you have snake bites, you just scrape it and then we got the juice and then we apply it to wherever the bites could be. This vine, I don't really know the in details of the story, but it is like penis enlarger.
Yeah.
Some got a very good use, some got wicked use as well too.
I'm Steven Ranella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater. Our adventure continues along Guyana's Rewa River in northeastern South America. This is pristine, undisturbed tropical rainforest. The only way to get in here is this river. I'm traveling with the extended families of Rovan and Dennis Alvin, Makushi Amerindians who draw their food from this land and water and earn some cash by guiding curious foreigners like me on expeditions into the wild. We've been eating a steady diet of wild foods from the water and trees. Black piranha, vampire fish, red-tail catfish, curacao. What's next on the menu is anyone's guess. So far, travel on the river has been easy. But as we move upriver, we're approaching a series of dramatic waterfalls. On my last visit here years ago, our trip ended at this barrier. This time, I'm hoping to push beyond, to experience the magic of these seldom visited waters. It's a sight that very few people ever get to see. We're gonna drag boats overland through the jungle and then carry our gear in order to get around the first falls, called Corona. We're taking just 2 boats from here, leaving half our stuff and a few of Rovan's relatives behind to fish below the falls. Along the way, we explore. It's clear that these falls aren't just mesmerizing to us.
Picture clip on the rock.
Petroglyphs mark their entrance.
Oh.
The creators of this artwork are lost even to the Makushi, who regard them as the ancient ones. They are likely hundreds, perhaps many thousands of years old.
What do you think they are?
Not sure. Looks like a face of a person. With 2 eyes, maybe the neck.
Chin, yeah. Man, I'd love to know why they like these rapids so much and made these marks at the rapids. That would be cool to know, like who, what, why. If they came here to fish, like why they thought these were so remarkable or whatever they thought of them. Who knows what they thought of them. Scary.
You're here.
Dude, when you saw this the first time, it must have been crazy.
The true allure of the falls for me, and maybe the ancient ones as well, is what I just might consider to be my absolute favorite fish on the planet, an herbivorous piranha called pacu. I'll admit it, in large measure, this is the fish that brought me here. What brings the fish here is a plant.
You know, I asked Rovin, you know, what plant they use to make arrows, and he said it's called arrow plant. And you see that green weed growing on all these rocks that the pacu eat? That's what the fish are in here after. So I asked him, like, well, what's the name of the weed? And of course, it's pacu weed.
I just saw one over there.
You saw one?
Yeah.
As any good fisherman knows, the best place to find a fish is to look in his kitchen. And here we are.
Look.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
Another one there.
Oh, yeah.
5 of them. 5 pacu. You can go a little more closer.
Yeah.
Look,
Hey.
close here.
Yeah, wait. I want to put my American boots on.
Oh, really?
Dude, trust me. I'm not like you. I slip and fall.
Understand.
To fall here is no joke. In places there's nothing to grab onto, no place to get a foothold. You'll get washed downstream and get totaled out on the rocks below. Felt-soled boots help keep you gripped to the rocks and by extension, grip to your life.
See the bright red?
No, I see him.
There's another one closer.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for him. There's one there.
That's the killer shot. Right on the neck bone. You got him. Yeah, he's way out there. Good job.
Pacu. You got him?
Pick it up. Oh no. My point is too tight. That's why it's coming off.
Robin, look at them all. There you go. My arrow got stuck. Robin, I'll go get it. Just hold the string. in the US, water that you bowfish in tends to be like the dankest, swampiest, nastiest, flattest, stillest water in the country. And like, it's a very small subset of the American population that likes to fish with a bow and arrow. And this is like the promised land, man. If you're of that type of guy, and I am. I mean, it doesn't exist. This does not exist. I'm standing here staring at it, and I still can't believe it exists.
Eventually, the fishing in this stretch dries up. The fish are all spooked. I'm not entirely clear on why, but Rovin says this has something to do with my American boots. We decide to continue pushing upriver. For lunch, we're gonna have, you guessed it, fresh fish.
This is pathway for cooking for the Amerindians if you are far away from home, making a long journey on the river or in the forest. This would preserve for a good 3 days.
The Makushi travel light, subsisting happily for days on end eating the same fare comprised of a grainy meal made from cassava roots from their home garden plots, topped by homegrown dried peppers, some salt, river fish, and river water. It makes me realize just how needy and finicky we've become with our endless variety of treats and snacks, our dietary restrictions, our constant needs.
Holy that pepper's hot, man. Does this have a name when it's done like this? When you put the freen and the fish and the pepper together?
Lunchtime.
Do you eat many green vegetables?
Yeah, we're gonna portage this piece here.
Just drag them up the current or take them out?
Just drag them up.
Through the water?
Yeah, through the water. Get the car out of it. Yeah.
We push ahead through a series of rapids. The higher we get, the more magical it becomes, and then we approach a feature known as Bamboo Falls. Rovin has yet to make it beyond here.
All right, take your time. When you get it out from the boat, watch where you're stepping. You'll step on a door of caiman between the rocks.
The petroglyphs of the faces that we saw earlier on the rocks are burned in my mind as a reminder of the human history of this place. So that when it begins to feel like we're becoming lost into the land, it's not like being lost in someplace undiscovered. It's more like being lost in someplace forgotten.
Rovin. You see, we've come up now through like, one big rapids, another big rapids, all this junk, and above us is that, and then right there is another pacu in the middle of all this. These fish are like the fish equivalent of a mountain goat. They're like a mountaineer fish. These things are more badass than salmon because salmon come through this junk, but they just want to get through it, right? They wait before they hit a rapids, and they mill around like they're all agitated and they don't want to do it. And then they get the balls up to do it, and they shoot through, and then they go about their business. These dudes just hang out in it.
Look, one's here. Got him.
A stomach packed full of pacu weed. Like you could garnish a dish with that stuff, man.
Everything about this place feels outside of my world. Plucking blood red fish from the water, feeling the pull of the heavy current on my legs beneath an equatorial sun, the possibility of a jaguar peering out at us from the shadows. Home gets to feeling mighty far away. This is as high up the river as we're gonna get on this go-around. I begin to see the bucket that Rovin's been drinking from, which used to hold 5 gallons of gear oil in its former life, as a metaphor for our time in the jungle. It's running out.
Rovin, you're getting low, man.
Yeah.
So that's the super fermented stuff.
Yeah, that's para curry, the local drink.
Para curry.
Yeah, made from cassava.
Whew.
What do you think?
Unusual. Unusual. It tastes like what it smells like if you leave apples.
Oh, okay.
After they start to ferment, we used to squeeze the apples out
Right.
and drink that stuff. We used to do that when we were young. It reminds me a lot of that drink.
Yeah.
That's a good drink, man. You got another bucket for when that runs out? That's all you brought is one bucket?
Yeah.
What happens when it runs out?
Drink water.
Drink water. Or just go, that's when you know you gotta go home.
Home. That's where I'll be headed soon. But first, one last meal near the falls before we begin the long downstream journey. This is, I think, the 8th or 9th species of fish we've cleaned now. And this one, he does something that my fishing mentor, when I was a kid, he always scaled wherever he was gonna cut before he ran his knife through there because he didn't like to get his knife dull on scales. He thought you could clean way more fish if you never like put your blade to scales.
Instead of plain pepper, I put in this fresh pepper mashup.
Pepper pot. This is kind of like the national dish, right?
That's right.
Like if you remember back to when you were a boy and you would come up the river with your parents to catch fish, to salt them and bring them home. Does it seem like the same or does it seem a lot different to like guide someone on a trip?
The same.
Feels like the same because the same river, same fish.
Right. Same technique.
Rovin, if you ever wanted to get rich, move to the U.S. And open up a place where you cook this, and this is the only thing you sell. I think you'd do well for yourself. But you might start to miss your river, I think. And you start to miss fishing probably a whole bunch.
As we prepare to leave this place, I'm as entranced as I was the first time I came here. I alternate between excitement about plotting my return and pushing even farther up the river, and dread about the idea that this place and the people will change somehow into something unrecognizable, something less unique. I try to grab onto snippets of visual memories and to lock into my brain those moments that most exemplify the things I love here, in hopes of keeping the images from fading away from my mind. The way things tend to slip into the currents of time.